Hi, my name is Andrew Gordon, and I'm a partner at Pricing Empowered. Today I'm going to talk about how you can use some simple analytics to determine if a specific customer's price is fair when measured against its peers. I will introduce some simple formulas and charts that can be used to help you in this effort. You will be able to access an Excel tool after the presentation that you can use to do some of these simple exercises. We call the effort of measuring one customer's price against peer customers peer price analytics. The peer price analytical exercises we are going to discuss today are useful for many different reasons. They can be used to identify outlier prices in your business, which can be leveraged as opportunities for low-risk price increases to supplement your profit. They can be used to identify high-risk customers that could drive market prices down if left unaddressed. They can be used as a litmus test in negotiation processes to determine if a customer is being honest about pricing. Today we are going to discuss two common types of analysis: peer price scoring and price banding. Peer price scoring is simply building ratios of a customer's specific price versus the average prices for their peer group or versus a target price for their peer group. This type of analysis is best viewed in a scatter plot. This analysis is best used to identify risk and opportunity by looking for outlier behavior. Price banding is simply building an understanding of the distribution of market prices for a product or group of products within a peer group by bucketing prices into ranges and viewing them in a histogram. This type of analysis is best used to inform appropriate price levels for new opportunities. Let's start with peer price scoring. This type of analysis is great for identifying customers with outlier price levels or to inform customer-specific strategies for an upcoming price increase. In this type of analysis, we calculate a score by taking a customer's actual revenue and simply dividing it by the revenue they would have paid at market average prices or at market target prices. Then we plot each customer as a dot on a scatter plot, looking for outliers. We typically filter this chart to only represent customers we believe are peers. In this example, you can see the difference from the highest price score and the lowest price bands from about 0.82 to 1.25, a greater than 40% spread in market prices. And the lowest price in this peer group is the smallest customer. Think about the implications of this type of spread. Customers that are in the red zone offer a lot of risk to the organization. On any day, they could get wind of the lower market prices and demand equality. That would be a costly day. Or they could be purchased by customers in the green zone. Of course, upon learning the disparity between the two price levels, the newly formed company almost certainly would demand the lower of the two prices. On the other hand, each customer in the green zone offers an opportunity. The likelihood of them finding a supplier that is willing to match your price after a price increase is much lower than the customers in the red zone. It is those in the green zone that we should target greater than standard market price increases. In building a price score, the numerator is always a specific customer's total sales. The time period used to calculate those sales usually takes some consideration. For instance, you may choose a time period that coincides with fiscal years, price increases, or specific months, depending on what you are trying to investigate. Determining what to use as a denominator of your price score ratio is a little more complicated. Remember, you are trying to determine a specific customer's performance versus either market averages or market target prices. The decision as to whether to benchmark averages or market target prices is obvious. If you have target prices, use them. If you don't have target prices, use market averages to start. After you've made that decision, the next important decision requires you to reflect on your business and its complexity. For instance, measuring a specific customer's price against average prices in the market when that specific customer is the only one buying a specific part number makes no sense. They set the market and therefore their sales divided sales at average prices would be always 1.0. To use actual part level average prices in the denominator, there is a criteria that multiple customers purchase the same products. When that is unlikely for your business, you can use an alternative method. If you have published list prices that have some logic behind them, calculating average market prices through using sales at average discount levels for like products makes a lot of sense. Customers with deep discounts relative to what is typically given score low. Customers with little discounts score high. It is possible that your list prices are very misaligned with the market, or you only sell custom product. In these cases, we suggest you use prices at average family margins instead. You can see we have included formulas for all 6 possible scenarios to assist you in building this powerful analysis. Doing peer price scoring may seem daunting at first, especially if you are dealing with thousands of customers and parts, but it really is quite simple. We will show you in a few quick steps how to do this in Microsoft Excel using pivot tables and VLOOKUP formulas. To start, you need to access sales data in a format similar to the template shown. We've included a template for you to get you started. Simply configure your date up in the same format as the template, and everything else is easy. Once you have the data in the template, you will run pivot tables. These are powerful tools to summarize data. In our template, you just need to hit the refresh button at the top of the screen to get the values to update. After you refresh the pivot tables, you can use the Excel VLOOKUP function to bring the averages back into the sales data. This will allow for you to make comparisons at the customer part level. You can also use pivot tables again to summarize the data up at the customer level. In this view, we summarize each customer's sales and then the sales that they would have had if they paid average prices. Depending on the decision criteria used before, you may be most interested in the price score, the discount score, or the margin score. Finally, you can copy and paste the customer number, the customer sales, and the score of interest to a new tab in Excel. This will allow you to chart the values on a scatter plot for immediate insights. All of this is automated in this week's template. Now let's move on to price banding. This type of analysis is great for quick decision making during negotiations. In this type of analysis, we aggregate transactions into buckets by their prices and then plot each bucket on a bar chart. We typically filter this chart to only represent customers we believe are peers. In this example, we have plotted how many customers have discounts within 5% increment ranges on a particular product line. You can see there is a large spread again. However, this view offers some clear insight into market prices. Although there are several customers with extremely deep discounts, it is clear that the majority of the market is happy paying prices at less than or equal to 30% discount levels. Therefore, if you were in the midst of negotiation and were told you needed to compete at a 50% discount, regardless of the profit level there, you probably would not want to drop your price that low. In fact, you will probably still win the business at a 30% discount, since so much of your customer base is buying at that level. On the other hand, if a customer was asking for a 15% discount on these products, you clearly have evidence that that is a fair price. You would likely want to accept the deal. Like peer price indexing, there are several ways to look at the data in price banding. You may want to use specific customer prices or discount and/or margins by product family. You may want to use very granular buckets, such as every percent discount or penny in price, or you may want to aggregate the data into bigger buckets. You may want to display the number of transactions, customer count, or revenue. Each combination of these decisions leads you to a different group of insights. To determine which metric you will use, you should consider things such as how big is the opportunity presented. If it is a large opportunity, you may want to view the price band by revenue. That will give you a view if other large customers have been purchasing at deep discounts. It will also give you a view of the relative potential impact on market price. However, if the opportunity is more standard size, you probably want to view by customer count or transaction count. That gives you a better view of how often certain discounts were accepted as deep enough to be awarded the business. In choosing a variable type, you use the same criteria as you would in peer price scoring. If you have enough customers purchasing a specific product, you should price band actual part prices. If not, you would choose product family discounts or product family margins, depending on the status of your list prices. No matter what your choices are for metrics and variables, the key to doing this well is to find the right bucket sizes to allow for the right amount of insight. Aggregate to granular and you will see nothing but noise. Aggregate to high level, you will be lumping too many potential price points into one bucket, making decision making difficult. To run a price band, you start with the same basic sales data. If you are interested in running the analysis by transaction count, you will want to include order number in the data. This will make the file larger, as it is possible that the same customer might have purchased the same part number multiple times. For our example, we will simply use the same summarized data from before. Excel offers histogram capabilities for analysis of frequency of data elements. This is useful if you want to plot the count of customers from a summarized sales data table or count of transactions from a raw sales file. In the latest versions of Excel, you can use this add-in by going to File, Excel Options, Add-ins, and highlighting the Analysis toolpack. Simply select Go and it should appear under the Data tab in the far right-hand corner. If you are on an older version of Excel, the add-on is still available. Simply go to Help and type the words histogram into the Help search. You should get instructions from there. Before you actually plot the histogram, you must add the metrics you are looking to summarize. In this example, we have added discount and margin. On a separate tab, decide the size of the buckets you want to look at. In this example, we have chosen to plot discounts in 5% increments. This may be a typical bucket view for discount and perhaps margin. However, in price, these buckets would be in dollars and cents. For a large priced item, you might want to substitute the 0.05 increments for $1 or even $10 increments. Once you have added the buckets on a separate tab, you are ready to run a histogram. Go to the Data tab, select Data Analysis, and the box depicted here pops up. Notice there are a lot of really cool mathematical functions here. We'll talk about them in later webinars. For this purpose, select Histogram and OK. You will be prompted for an input range. In our example, we select the data from column L. You will be prompted for a bin range. In this example, we move to the separate tab that had the buckets and select them. Then we run the analysis. The output of the analysis is a simple table summarizing the data as depicted on the left. It is very easy to select that data to run a bar chart on the right. Our template will help you through this. Unfortunately, if you are looking to review the data by revenue and not count, you must do this manually. You can simply enter the same price buckets to each line of the sales data, depending on the value of the row. When looking at discounts, all discounts less than 25 are coded 0.2, all discounts less than 0.3 are coded 0.25, and so on. Using the manual method, we can run a pivot table that summarizes sales by each bucket. This gives us an alternate view of the same data, which of course can also be charted using a bar chart. And so we spent a little time today discussing how to determine fair price using simple Excel formulas and tools. Although these techniques are very simple to use, the insights they create are powerful. We encourage you to try them out and let us know what you learn. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Talk to you next week.